What's up, guys? It's your boy Young X Rob coming back at you with another YouTube video. Today we are going to be reviewing the Fusion Pro controller versus the Xbox Series 2 Elite controller. I'm going to give you guys some pros and cons for both controllers, and I'm going to tell you which one I think is more bang for your buck and which one I think is the better controller. Let's get right into it. We have the Fusion Pro controller right here, and then we have the Xbox Series 2 controller right here, the Elite Series 2. I want to open that up so you guys can see them side by side. The Fusion Pro definitely comes in a bigger case, and the Elite comes in a smaller one. Elite's case definitely feels more premium. This is just a harder plastic, but they definitely both feel nice. I do want to start the review with the Fusion Pro controller. So right out of the carrying case, you get a braided cable. Right there. And then you get the actual controller. The paddles, these paddles are removable. With the Elite, they are not. And then you get the two separate joysticks, and then these little rings that are replaceable for around the joysticks. The controller does have a little door that it comes with that you pop off, and then you're able to put in these little, they look like a little spider, the little paddles into them. Connects right in, and you pretty much have an Elite controller. This controller is $80 at Best Buy, Amazon, Target, 85 plus tax. The weight of the controller is definitely heavier than your standard Xbox controller for Microsoft. It definitely has some weight to it, but it doesn't feel cheap. It feels good. The actual paddles themselves are not magnetic. They have a little T-shape, and then they fit into this fitting right here. And the actual material of the paddles are hard plastic. If I can get this guy in right there. The only problem I would say that I have with actual paddle section is that this bottom paddle right here kind of extends a little bit farther than the Elite one, and it kind of bugs me. But that's the only main issue that I have with just the paddles. Other than that, they're durable. They work perfectly fine. Right here, you have the sensitivity for the triggers, hair triggers, or if you want less tension with the triggers. The problem that I've noticed with these guys is that some games won't register that you're pushing down the trigger all the way. Fortnite, I didn't have an issue. Call of Duty Warzone, I did when I was driving a vehicle. It wouldn't register that I was driving like with the gas all the way down, and that's my only complaint I would say with this. But it's easily fixable just by turning off and just using the normal triggers. On the front, the faceplate is removable. It is magnetic, and then you're able to swap out the joysticks and also the rings from that side. With the faceplate itself, it has a matte finish, and you can already see, I'm trying to get a good angle, you can see the oil stains on it, and that's, I would say, the main complaint I have with that is just how it leaves kind of just like stains on it. And then the joysticks, when you swap them out, they kind of pop in. The joysticks themselves feel kind of cheap. They're kind of plastic, but again, you're paying 80 bucks for it, and it's still good quality. It's not bad, but it's definitely feels cheap, these extra joysticks they come with. But all together, the controller feels nice. It feels heavy. It is wired. It is not wireless. The way you map the buttons is right here. There's a button. You click on it, a light will start blinking right here. Say you push A, and then it'll start blinking faster, and then you just map it to one of the paddles. So you don't need no extra software or anything else like that. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the Elite controller. We have the Xbox Elite 2 controller right here. The case itself does feel more premium than the Fusion Pro case. You have your braided cable that comes up here, but it's currently on my PC because this is the main controller I'm running at the moment. I've had about 2 months, same with the other controller. I've been swapping them in and out. This controller is $185. Let that sink in. $185 for just a controller. You can buy 2 Fusion Pro controllers for this one controller. But I will say this controller is more premium. It feels more premium. The actual The actual grip on it just feels nice. This feels, even the triggers have grip on it, and it has more of a hook. You guys can see it right there. What comes in the case is 4 swappable joysticks, an interchangeable D-pad, and then a charging stand for the controller, because the controller is wireless, but we'll touch more base on that in a bit. And it also comes with a tension knob. You're able to remove the joysticks. The faceplate doesn't come off on this one, just the joysticks and the D-pad, and they are magnetic. You remove it, and then it has a little, I don't know if you guys can see it, a little cross, and then you're able to go in there and then tension it. One of the key features that I really like about the controller is just being able to control the tension on the joysticks. It helps a lot with shooter games. On the back, we have the paddles. They're made out of definitely a light metal, and they're magnetic. They don't snap in with any fitting. It's just magnetic, and it's good to go. You have the trigger sensitivities right there, and I've had no issues with a game being able to recognize if I'm pushing the trigger when it's on hair trigger or anything like this. So there's no issues with these triggers at all. You guys can see. On the front, you also get different profiles. So the way you map the buttons on this controller is with a separate app. So on the PC, I have to log into a different app, and then I map all the buttons to the paddles. On Xbox, it's the same thing, but it's a separate app, and it's a whole nother application I have to open up. It's just not a quick 1-2 where I map it from the controller, which is nice on the Fusion Pro controller. This one doesn't offer it, but there is more options to customize the buttons on the back and in the front. You can also map buttons. Say if you're playing on PC and you want to command something to shift, you're able to put any of these buttons and command it to a shift. So you can either mute the stream, you can use push to talk with the controller. So this controller definitely has more options to customize it, which is a definite plus in my book. The biggest con I would say with this controller is that the Bluetooth on it sucks. It disconnects every 20 minutes from my PC. I have a higher end gaming PC, and it still disconnects. I looked on forums and I found people having the same issue on Xbox and PlayStation, because people use these on PlayStation, and they were having the same issue with the Bluetooth not working. And it kind of sucks too, because you pay $185 for a controller and the Bluetooth doesn't work. I also did purchase a 2-year warranty through Best Buy for an extra $50, so my controller is covered for the next 2.5 years, because the warranty on the actual Microsoft Store is 1 year, so 3 years, and I paid $220. Again, that is very expensive, but in my opinion, it's worth it because it just feels nice. In my opinion, guys, I think the controller that is more bang for your buck, and the one I think you should probably buy, is going to be the Fusion Pro controller. It is only $20 more expensive than your traditional Microsoft Xbox controller, and you get the paddles with it. The cons on this controller are not that big. They're doable, and it's just a solid controller. And 80 bucks, you can't beat 80 bucks compared to the Elite controller, which is $180. So I think this is just going to be the one that I recommend you guys to probably buy. It's a solid controller. Yes, it has a couple things that aren't perfect, but it's $80 and you get the paddles, because that's the main thing that most people are going to be buying, either an Elite or a Fusion Pro controller. But a big but, if you do have the extra money and you have $185, $200, I would say go with an Elite controller. It just has more options to customize it, and it's just a solid controller. It's definitely better than the Fusion Pro, but like I said, if you don't have the money for it, I think the Fusion Pro is going to be the better choice. I hope this video, guys, helped you make your guys' decision. If you guys did like this video, make sure you guys do smash that like button. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys subscribe and turn on post notifications. Until next time, guys, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.